What's up, football heads? I am Kyle. He is Cesar, the true star of the show, the NOOB football fan on Instagram. And what was your record last week?
My record last week was 12-3. Another 12-3 week. I was 12-3 in week 7, 11-5 week 8, and then back to 12-3 week 9. I'm doing good. Only 3 games that got me off guard last week. The Titans beating the Patriots, the Cardinals beating the Bears, and the Panthers just beating the shitty-ass Saints.
Yeah, I can't pick the Panthers, but you're 1-0 this week. You finally get a big Thursday night win, a close game. My Bengals got screwed, although I tried to tell you they're more of a tease than a threat, but I did pick them, and they lost. Great game, though.
Yes, I thought the Ravens were going to do like easy work on the Bengals defense, but the Bengals put up some good work. They dominated the first half of the game. Then the second half, their defense just scrambled. And unfortunately for for Joe Burrow, and the Bengals, they just, couldn't get it done. And there were some questionable missed calls by the refs at the end of the game in that that 2-point conversion attempt. And that's unfortunate for the Bengals. But, I picked the Ravens and I got my pick. So good.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, monster game. He had the 2 long touchdowns, like 264 yards, something like that. And it's my fault. Not my fault because I bet on him and I made money off him. I'm sure a lot of fantasy owners are very happy about it. But I remember going into the week, Justin Jefferson had overtaken Jamar for receiving yards. And I thought, all is right in the world. This is how it's meant to be. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to show you. Goes off for 260. But he's balling. Joe Burrow's balling, but they really have nobody else on the team. So
it's a shame. It's a shame because offensively, that's all they need. I mean, we can clearly see that offensively, that's all they need. They just need Burrow and Chase to do their thing. I think their offensive line is not bad. I think their offensive line is doing the work. Is giving Burrow the time. It all comes up to which defense they're facing. Some defenses are too strong for them, but that's fine. That's got to happen to any team. But at the same time, that defense is not helping them win those games. They have been playing well every single game. Joe Burrow is scoring some great numbers every single game, yet, it's not enough. It's a shame.
Their defense is ass. Just call it how it is. Their defense is fucking terrible. But the Ravens did flirt with it. The Ravens, they still have not shaken this, it's the fourth quarter. Maybe we'll fuck it up. Maybe we'll just fuck around and fuck it up.
They did last week with the Browns.
Yeah.
Was it last week?
No, I think that was the week before.
The week before? Yeah, the week before.
Last week they beat the shit out of the Broncos, right?
Yeah, that's right. 41-10.
Yeah, so I don't know. They're balling though. Can't hold it against them. That was Thursday Night
Football, and Al Michaels was probably having the time of his life until those missed calls by the refs near the end of the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the Sunday games. We got a special start time that I will not be tuning into, I assure you, at 6:30 a.m. Pacific. Giants, Panthers. What was the thing you sent me today? The movable object versus the stoppable force? The Giants and the Panthers in Munich, in Germany. Giants are favored by 6.5 with a 40.5
For the first time in a while, the Giants were favorites. For the 30-something time, the Panthers are underdogs going into the game. It's just I saw something today. It's like the worst ranked offense against the worst ranked defense in the NFL right now. That's a stat that I saw somewhere. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just if it is, that's wild. It's how are you expecting to get more fans in when that's the game you put in them internationally? That's just come on. I mean, Germany did some effed up shit, back in the day, but they don't deserve the Giants versus the Panthers, not in 2024.
Yeah, this game should not. First of all, this game just shouldn't be on TV, but it sure should not be in its own time slot. Whether it's overseas or not, this is like a Thursday night football game from 2 years ago where Al Michaels is getting ready to hang himself. But I don't know who you're on. I got the Giants, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau. Carolina, their offensive line is terrible. Bryce Young is terrible under pressure. I know they got a win last week, but I think you got a legit great unit on two bad teams. They can feast all day. Daniel Jones, he's got some weapons. They'll figure out a way to score like 17 points and win.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm going with the Giants, and definitely Daniel Jones is probably going to look like the quarterback that is, deserving of all that money they're spending on him for this game. I mean, he better, because if he doesn't, I'm sure the Giants front office is going to be very, very disappointed in that, because it's the fucking Panthers. I mean, the Panthers have beaten a couple of teams this season, and every single time they do, someone gets fired. So I hope for Daniel Jones' sake and their coach's sake that they do beat the Panthers. But yeah, I am picking the Giants.
All right, let's get off of this garbage. I talked for like an hour earlier today on all the worst teams in the league and who actually has a shot at the top pick. And the Panthers were like, there's 4 teams, but the Panthers were, it's like, yeah, they suck. They're not going to
win. They're in their own universe of trash.
Yeah. Just top to bottom, it's a dumpster fire. Next, because they're favorited on my ESPN app, 6-2 Minnesota Vikings traveling to Duval to take on the 2-7 Jaguars. Vikings are favored by 7 points with an over/under of 43.5.
If your Vikings do not beat the Jaguars, it's something you should be ashamed of. I'm honest. Like this year, the Jaguars are not playing well. I don't know what's going on with that organization. I mean, it feels like almost the same as the Panthers. It's just not as bad for some reason, even though they have, I'm pretty sure, the same record. Yeah, they do. They have the same record, yet nobody talks about how bad they're playing, just like the way the Panthers, are playing. So, yeah, I'm picking the Vikings. That's an easy pick. You guys are playing well. So, you got a great team. You got a great offense. You got a good defense that's playing well still. That's started off hot and still playing hot. So definitely Vikings all the way.
I will not pick this game as is custom, but
yeah.
I've been saying for weeks the Jags, I called them the Jacksonville Tony Khans, and I said that if they win a game, then they get their name back. They won a game, they got their name back, and since then they've been playing like a real football team. They went toe-to-toe with the Packers 2 weeks ago. They came back on the Eagles last week. They had a chance throwing in the end zone to take a lead late. So I don't think they're not as bad as some of these other 2-7 teams. But the Vikings, we know what the line of demarcation is on that defense. If they play like Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, Jared Goff and Ben Johnson, like those Sean McVay and Matt Stafford, they can decipher what Brian Flores is doing. Anybody beneath that line, Flores' defense, it feasts all day. Trevor Lawrence, it seems very unlikely that he's going to play, which means that Mac Jones will be in. Mac Jones has been broken for a while now. Granted, maybe his best game of his career was against the Vikings, but that was Ed Donatel and not Brian Flores. So I think the Vikings defense, it looks like they're getting Blake Cashman back. Blake Cashman, quietly massive free agent acquisition coming in the offseason. The only 2 games they lost this year, they did not have Blake Cashman. It forces Ivan Pace to have to play more of a traditional linebacker role where he's better at pass rushing, and it gives you, when Cashman's in there, you can move other chess pieces around more. So I think him being back, the defense is going to be at full strength. They should be able to handle Mac Jones. Peterson's clinging on for his job. I expect it to be closer than 7 points because the Jags, like I said, they're playing like a real football team. But
hey, they scared me. They scared me with the Eagles last week. Honestly, that almost comeback was crazy. Thank God for N'Kobe Dean. But yeah,
Vikings, they should be able to handle business. I hope they'll be able to handle business. Next up, we got a divisional matchup. Could be frisky. I'm interested to see which way I'm going to pick on this. The 5-4 Denver Broncos traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs at Arrowhead in a rare 1 o'clock game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 8, over under 41.5.
The Kansas City Chiefs still going undefeated, still winning games. You made a video, you put it out there. They just have a different mentality. They're able to get it done. Yeah, they get questionable calls. Yeah, they miss some calls with the refs. People think that the refs favor them. The league favors them. Listen, some things, they look iffy. That's fine. I understand that. But like you said, they just, the way that team is coached right now, they just have a winning mentality where they just pretty much prepare every single time for each drive differently. They just make sure that they are trying to go in and making sure that they win. I have no doubt this game is going to be theirs. But like you said, it should be an interesting game because the Broncos have been pretty frisky this season. And they've been playing interestingly well with a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. So even though Bo Nix hasn't been putting up some impressive numbers, they're winning some games. They have a winning record, barely, but they do. And it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs. I think they're gonna go 9-0. Now, if the Broncos win, I'll probably just celebrate and think that I just won the Super Bowl. But I just think the Chiefs are gonna win. It's just they're a different breed.
You are right. I did put out a video this week. Shouts out to me about how the Chiefs, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, they see the game on a transcendent, entirely different level, and I stand by that. First and foremost, they're not going to cover 8 points. The Chiefs historically do not do well with these large spreads. I'm picking the Broncos. And here's why. Prior to having 40 dropped on them last week, their defense was playing big-time ball. Better ball than the Buccaneers' defense. Talked to a Buccaneers fan today, and he had some issues with the Bucs defense. And they kept the Bucs without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the game. Patrick Mahomes has not been himself. Now, he looked more like himself against the Bucs, but it still came down to the wire. The Broncos, if their defense, if last week was an outlier, if Sean Payton comes in, lights the boys up in the locker room for getting blown out against Baltimore, I think they're going to be more locked in for this game. And despite me having all the superlatives for the Chiefs and saying we need to just surrender to how damn good they are, I'm picking the Broncos because it feels right. It feels like the Broncos. It's a 1 o'clock game. The Chiefs aren't used to playing 1 o'clock games. That's too early for them. They like to sleep in on Sundays. The Broncos are coming to town. They just got their ass whipped. They're ready to fucking get back. What better way to get back after you got mollywopped by the Ravens than to go into Arrowhead and beat divisional rival Chiefs? It's a divisional game. You got to throw the records out the window. The Denver Broncos, behind Bo Nix, potential Rookie of the Year, is going to go into Arrowhead, and they're going to steal this one from the Kansas City Chiefs and get back in that playoff hunt.
Any given frisky Sunday, I guess.
I love it. I'm here for it. Broncos, let's get it, baby. Let's ride. Let's fucking ride. Let's go.
All right, what's next?
All right, now this could end up being this should be a game of the week candidate. Could end up being a low-key clunker for whatever reason, just because we're not fully there on either one of these teams. But we got the 6-2 Pittsburgh Steelers off the bye, traveling to Washington, D.C. Hotbed for controversy these days, but this is not a political show. To take on the Commanders at 7-2. Washington is favored by 2.5. Over under of 44.5. Who you got?
Oh, Steel City. I'm going to Pittsburgh. They're coming off the bye. They're fresh. They've been getting that rest. They're getting that prep time for the Commanders. That defense is going to run all over Jaden Daniels. I just can't wait to see that. I'm picking the Steelers, man. I don't care what they say. I don't care what the numbers say. The Steelers are going to beat the Commanders, and I can't wait for that to happen because that means that the Eagles are going to take first place in the division.
Well, that's if the Eagles win, but we'll get there when we get there. I see, these are two teams I feel like I'm not convinced that the Steelers are 6-2 good. I'm not convinced the Commanders are 7-2 good. I think they're both good teams, but who have they beaten? But with that in mind, you got Mike T, and I'm always trust in Coach Tomlin.
He's a great
coach. And the Steelers' defense is balling. We've seen the Commanders lose and win games this year, not scoring a lot of points. So I think that Steelers D is going to be the factor. I think the Steelers go into Washington, and the Commanders fail yet another test against a team with a winning record, and we still won't know exactly how good they are after this. But we're going to have a little more confidence in the Steelers, I think.
Let us not forget that Hail Mary catch and touchdown a couple of weeks ago against the Bears was just a lucky shot. There was nothing in that play that said Danny Daniels knew what he was doing. The receiver knew what he was doing when he stood in the end zone and said, I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to wait and see if I get it, if it bounces or if whatever. The receiver did a good job. Daniels underthrew the ball. He got tipped by the defender, who was an idiot. I don't know his name. And they got the win. It was a lucky shot. It was a lucky play. It's the Steelers' time to win. They're coming up for the bye. I'm telling you, they want that win. They just want another win. Tomlin is just aching for another win, and he's going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think even with the questions I might have with the Steelers, it feels like everything's clicking right for them. The defense is clicking. They were doing real good on offense under Justin Fields. Russ comes back. Smooth transition. I like the Steelers in this one.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to move on to an NFC South matchup. 6-3 Falcons going to New Orleans to take on the low vibe Saints at 2-7. Falcons are favored only by 4. A high over under 46.5. Who you got?
I have no idea why they only by 4, but the Falcons are going to win this game. The Saints are a mess. They started out hot. It's been downhill from there. They just fired their head coach. The new head coach is going to try to do something. I mean, is he the new head coach, or is he just the interim head coach? I don't know. Either way, it's not a good feel for them. I don't think the Saints are going to be able to get all the pieces together by this game. I think the Falcons, who have been playing really well this season, Kirk Cousins is doing a great job. I think they're going to get it done easily. That's it. I know it's a divisional game, and get the records out the window, but it's the same. It's the Falcons' year this year in that division.
The vibes are just so low with New Orleans right now. Like, sometimes you fire your coach and the interim coach comes. I don't even know who their interim coach is, but the interim coach comes in and they get like a boost for a game or two and they get a little juice. We're going to roll the balls out there. We're just going to have fun this week. Forget about it. Just go play ball. All that shit. But the vibes are so low. Derek Carr's confidence is as low as it could possibly be right now, it seems like.
You got players talking trash online.
Cam Jordan tried to walk out of the stadium in his jersey and cleats because he didn't want to go in the fucking locker room. Like, it's a mess down there. I don't think they're going to get enough juice to beat the Falcons, who are a good team. I wish the spread was bigger because the Falcons have been playing very Kirk Cousins games where, like, it always comes down to one possession. Even when it feels like they're in control, like they were in control of that Cowboys game last week the entire time. Yeah. But it still came down to like a one-ish possession game because that's just Kirk Cousins' ball. He's never going to put the dagger in your fucking throat. He's just going to kind of like lightly step on your neck and ask you if it's too hard. And then they
put
win.
The dagger in the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, no, but that was he'll kill you if it's a back and forth, comes down to the last drive type of contest. But if he's in control the whole game, he can't just rack up points and beat you by 40 points. So I think it'll probably be a one possession game. But I'm on the Falcons. The Saints, it's bad vibes.
Right, yeah, not a good team right now.
Now, two teams I think have pretty solid vibes right now. The 49ers getting Christian McCaffrey back this week. Probably he's going to be on a pitch count of some sort, but 4-4 49ers headed to Tampa Bay to take on the 4-5 Buccaneers coming off the heartbreaking loss on Monday night to the Chiefs. They almost got it done. They couldn't get it done. A lot of debate about should they have gone for 2? Should they not have gone for 2? Would it have mattered because they left too much time on the clock? All that. But Niners, Bucks, Christian McCaffrey back in the mix. Who do you like in this one? Oh, boy.
Listen, fuck the Niners, but yeah, McCaffrey's back. So hopefully he gets it done. He gets that offense to get that rhythm again they were last year, and they get back to that winning 49ers feeling where they always dominate their games. I have the Niners just because McCaffrey's back, even though he might come in with some rust. We don't know how healthy he is still. I think they're gonna win this game. I think the Bucks are still struggling from last week. They play well against the Chiefs. I'm not gonna give the Bucks any crap, even though I hate both of these teams because they beat both of my team. Anyway, it's a matter of who wants it more, and I think the 49ers want this win more.
I wish the Bucks were getting a Panthers game after that Monday night game because I know there's been studies done about this. Tom Pelissero just talked about this on the Rich Eisen show. Whether you win or lose a close, highly emotional game, there's always a hangover the next week, and you got to have a hangover after that loss. Playing the 49ers, who are starting to get back in the swing of things, and they're also getting Christian McCaffrey back. So I'm on the Niners. I think they're going to get back over 500. They're going to get to 5-4. And then the Bucks, they take a loss, but the rest of their schedule after this, not bad. Not bad. The Bucks got a chance to reel off a bunch of wins here if they get Mike Evans back. But in this game, I'm on the 49ers. I'm with you.
I agree.
All right, moving on. 7-2 Buffalo Bills, led by the MVP of the NFL, Josh Allen. I don't know why everyone thinks Lamar is. Lamar playing fantastic, but he has more weapons. Josh Allen doing it with less. Let's give the man his due. Bills at the 4-5 Indianapolis Colts. Bills are favored by 4 with an over-under of 46.5.
I love Joe Flacco. I like the Colts, but come on. Josh Allen all the way.
Oh, man. That's fantastic.
I got the Bills, man. I got the Bills. I just got these today. I just love them. I don't know why. Yeah, I got the Bills. I think, like you said, Josh Allen is playing MVP right now. He's doing a great job in that position. The Bills' offense is doing really good. They struggle a little bit, at the start as well, but, they're dominating again. They're back in the groove. And, the Colts, they still haven't figured out who they are offensively or defensively as a team until trying to find out exactly what style of play they do. Joe Flacco, I love the guy. I love the way he plays, but, it's not enough. He is not enough for the Colts to beat the Bills. So I'm picking Bills.
Well, this is your show, and you keep track of your picks, and I just sit up here and say stupid shit. And Josh Allen is the MVP, but I know Keon Coleman is not playing, and I know Amari Cooper was not practicing. And I also know that the Bills' run defense, we talked about this weeks ago, with the Buffalorian Tanner Moody about the loss of Matt Milano and his impact on the defense. The Bills' run defense is atrocious and continues to be pretty damn bad. The Colts, very strong offensive line. Jonathan Taylor playing really well. Granted, they did not do well last week against my Minnesota Vikings. Shouts out J.J. McCarthy. One love, baby. But part of that is the Vikings do have statistically the in multiple categories, yards, EPA, whether you like basic stats, advanced stats, whatever the fuck, the best run defense in the league. And they kind of got away from it. And they started throwing with Flacco in the second half. So I don't think that's a product of necessarily who the Colts are. I think the Colts will be able to run the ball on the Buffalo Bills. And if Amari Cooper does not play, do they have enough weapons? Can Josh Allen cement his MVP status by just going balls out on the ground, getting deep balls to Shakir, whoever the fuck else, Curtis Samuel? Can guys step up and make plays? But I think the key is Jonathan Taylor running the ball. The Colts need to get back to basics. Run the ball. And the Colts are going to upset the Bills.
You're telling me that you think that Josh Allen would not be able to find a way to score if he doesn't have the weapons that he needs? It's Josh Allen. He doesn't need to pass the ball. People forget that he runs the ball and hurdles over defenders all the time. It's Josh Allen. He's not Lamar. Lamar runs the ball as well, but he runs the ball and he runs it good. And not only that, he trucks over people. Come on.
Listen, like I said, this is your show. You keep track of your picks. I don't know who I pick. I don't remember who I pick 5 minutes from now. Right now, I'm picking the Colts because, number one, there is a path to victory there if they lean on the run and run the ball and just tire out the Bills' defense. They might have better weapons on the outside in this game than the Bills do. Joe Flacco, just because he had a bad game against the Brian Flores 44 Hellfire defense, does not mean that that's how he's going to play for the rest of the season. Everyone was high on Flacco. I was high on Flacco. I put $100 on the Colts against the Vikings last week. And he had a bad game. And now everyone thinks that he's washed again. So if Flacco can deliver the ball to, you got Pittman out there, Josh Downs I talked about earlier in the week about how he is a very slept-on player. They got weapons, run the ball with Jonathan Taylor against a bad run defense, and Josh Allen might not have the opportunities to score. The Colts will beat the Bills in a big upset.
I'll give you this. They're at home, so they got that home field advantage. You know, the Colts fans are a passionate bunch. We're passionate. So, yeah, that gives them an advantage. But I still think Josh Allen and the Bills are going to get it done. I'm sorry. You're not making me switch my picks this week.
Listen, this is behind the scenes right here. I'm going to let you in on how my brain works. If the Bills win, it's going to be a monster performance from Josh Allen on an individual basis, which will further cement what I've been saying for weeks, that he's the MVP and not any of these other guys. And if they lose, then I get the pick right. So either way, I'm right. And then we just forget about the thing that I was wrong about. And that's how it works.
Listen, if they lose, I leave Joe Flacco balls out, and I'm happy because I fucking love Joe Flacco. So I get you.
There you go. All right, moving along. 2-7 New England Patriots. I believe technically due to current tiebreakers, they are considered the worst team in football. Traveling to Chicago to take on a suddenly struggling Bears team that feels like it's teetering on the edge at 4-4. Chicago is favored by 6 with only a 38.5 point over-under. Who you like in this one?
It's a bounce back. The Bears are going to get it back. They're going to get back in the rhythm. They're going to get back in the groove. What a better team to play to get that rhythm back than the Patriots, who are still trying to figure out as well who they are as they rebuild themselves with a new coach, new quarterback. So, yeah, I'm going with the Bears. People are saying that the Patriots are trying to get back, into a groove as well. But the Bears, they already know who they are. They just got to cement the pieces that they need, that they already know that they need. They know what they need to do to make sure that they get the win. They just need to, execute. That's all they need to do. The game that they have lost recently, like I said, that Commanders game, that was not a good game. That was a lucky shot. They barely won that game. Who did they face last week? Let's see, I forgot. The Cardinals. I don't know what happened there. The Cardinals have been this team where they either play really well and then they play really bad one week, and then I don't know what's going on there. But that wasn't, that's any given Sunday kind of scenario. I think the Bears know who they are. They know what pieces they need they need to win these games. I think they're able to get it done against the Patriots.
I don't know if you're lending enough credence to how on the edge the Bears are. If the Bears lose this game, I think there's a case to be made to fire their coach, Matt Eberflus. They'll have lost 3 in a row. They lost a close one to the Commanders on the road, But the whole Tyreek Stevenson thing was a disaster. Then they get throttled by the Cardinals last week. And DJ Moore, and again, allegedly or apparently he stepped out of bounds, and that's why he walked off during the middle of the play when Caleb Williams was running around, which that's like the customary thing to do is if you accidentally step out of bounds and you're ineligible, get off the field so they don't think that you're eligible and throw the ball to you. So, but he just walked straight to the bench and sat down. They asked, like, has Eberflus lost the team? And he said, I'm not going to say that he hasn't. So, like, they're teetering on the edge. They need a bounce back. But like you said, this is one of, like, 4 teams that you want to see in a need a bounce back scenario. You're in Chicago. We're in November. It's got to be windy. I'm taking the Bears, but this is a very important game in their season. If they lose this, it could very much go off the rails. Their defense should be able to handle the Pats have no weapons. They should be able to handle them. Just don't get too crazy. They gave up 9 sacks on Caleb Williams last week. Just manage the offense, play good defense, beat a bad team, run the ball, and get back on track. I'm picking the Bears.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yes, the whole situation with the coach is it's a little bit iffy, but it's not like they're 2-7. They're 4-4. They're not doing horribly. They're just they are struggling. And that's what happens when you're trying to rebuild a team with a rookie quarterback. And just like the Patriots, they've been doing the same, but the Patriots have been less than lucky than the Bears. They got the first overall draft pick. They got a good quarterback. It has worked in situations before. It hasn't worked before. It's literally a balance. It's 4-4. Let's just see where it goes.
And you did mention that the Bears know who they are, and I do think they know who they are, but they have these moments or stretches or full games where they just seemingly forget who they are. They just trust in who you are right now.
That's a coaching.
It's good enough.
That's a coaching thing. That's a coaching thing. And that might be the whole, that's the way you can say justify firing the coach. If not firing him, just to let him know, hey, you got to get this team back together, because that's a coaching thing. If you know who they are, who your team is, but you let them forget who they are, and you let it spiral down all the way to what happened last week where they got steamrolled by the Cardinals. That's a situation where a head coach looks ugly. So he needs to get that shit figured out. And I know, and I'm confident that he's going to be able to get it done this week.
All right, the next game up, this should be a quick one. 2-6 Titans coming off a win last week that I picked and then unpicked, but I did pick. Going to here, Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, who are 5-3. The Chargers are 7.5-point favorites. Over under is 39.
Hold on. You missed the game, didn't you?
I don't think so.
Bills, Colts, Vikings, Broncos, Falcons. Yeah, I know you're right. Hold on, my bad. I thought you were already on the. We're missing a game from the 1 o'clock. Hold on, sorry. So yeah, you're talking Titans visiting the Chargers.
Yes.
Yeah, the Chargers. It's a return of Will Levis though. So God bless. We're gonna have some Will Levis meme-worthy moments in that game, hopefully. But yeah, the Chargers. I mean, Harbaugh is doing well. And people, doubted him. They doubted the Chargers because they didn't start out hot. They haven't been looking dominant, but they have been winning, and that defense is doing good stuff. So 5-3, that's a good record for them to be at right now. And against teams like the Titans, yeah, I'm confident that Harbaugh is going to get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, Chargers. I can't pick the Titans. Not against the Chargers. I think the Titans are going to win a couple more games this year, but I don't think they're good enough to beat the Chargers. It's a good game for the Chargers at home. 5-3 is like a good record. 6-3, you feel a little more comfortable. If you're playing a tough team, we might slide to 5-4, but this should be a good win for the Chargers. Maybe they cover the spread. They've been covering the spread. They've been beating teams pretty well and not letting up at the end, not giving up a garbage time touchdown or something like that, backdoor covers. So I don't know. This could be a sneaky spread to take, but overall result, Chargers easy for sure.
I just can't wait for that Will Levis meme-worthy.
Oh yeah,
we've been missing that the past couple of weeks. Where's where's that Will Levis picture? Where's that Will Levis meme? Where is that? So I can't wait to see what he does this week. Maybe he just balls out this week and we get some bomb ass highlights from him. I don't know.
Yeah, ain't nobody breaking down the doors for the Mason Rudolph memes. We need Will Levis back in the saddle for the content, baby, for the content. All right, next up we got the New York Football Jets of New Jersey, 3-6, coming off a big win, what feels like weeks ago, to the Texans on Thursday night. Traveling to the desert to take on the 5-4 Cardinals, who are hot now all of a sudden. Jets are favored by 2, 46.5 over-under. Who you like in this one?
Hey, you doubted me last week when I picked the Jets over the Texans. See what happened? You doubted me. You thought you were not going to get that chemistry together with Devante Adams. I only got that touchdown, though, so that's good. But I am not picking the Jets this week. I'm picking the frisky Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are the team that's going to win the NFC West. And I think they're doing an interesting job. And I think they're going to win this game. And I think Aaron Rodgers might just enjoy a little bit more time in the darkness this week.
You son of a bitch. All right, so you referred minutes ago to the Cardinals as a back-and-forth team. You're not sure who they are. I have all week been saying, like the Jets, we see what they could be when they gel, but I don't know that. Like Aaron Rodgers thinks he always goes back to that one Green Bay team that started bad and got to the playoffs, won a bunch of playoff games, and it's always it reminds me of this Green Bay team. Like I don't know that they're back. They feel like a back and forth team to me, which would lead me to pick the Cardinals in this. But man, I'm picking the Jets. I gotta pick the Jets.
You're absolutely right. The Jets know who they are. They're a back and forth, not really sure who they are mess. That's what they are. That's all they are. They don't know if they're good. They don't know if they're bad. They just a complete mess.
They got the talent, though. They got the talent.
They do. But look at the Cardinals. They're 5-3. I mean, 5-4. Sorry.
Yeah.
They're 5-4. They're at the top of the NFC West for some reason. That's a wild division right now. So they played well last week. I still think they're going to be playing well this week. Might change next week. Who knows? But this week, I think they're beating the Jets. I think they are.
Listen, I wouldn't be shocked either way, but I just think is it more likely that the Cardinals are 6-4 and the Jets are 3-7, or do the Jets get back to 4-6 and then fall? But you know what? Real quick. For the fuck of it, I want to look at the Jets' schedule and see who they got next week. Jets got some winnable games coming up. And I think Aaron Rodgers, they're hosting the Colts on Sunday Night Football. Yeah. Then they got a bye. Then they host the Seahawks, who are going to have to travel across country and play an early game.
And they have been playing horrible.
And then they go to Miami. Then they got the Jaguars. So Aaron Rodgers is looking at the schedule, and Aaron Rodgers is telling the boys, "Look, you taste it. Can you feel the taste in your mouth of that win from Thursday night against a really good Texans team? What we did to them on national TV. Look at these games we got coming. We are gonna rip off about 4 or 5 straight. We're gonna go to the desert. We're gonna fucking skin these birds, fry them up, and we're eating fried cardinal on the plane ride back, and then we're going to go rip off about 4 or 5 more of these things in a row, and we're going to be back in the hunt." New York Football Jets of New Jersey are going to win this game. Lock it in.
Check out what the record is for Kyler Murray ever since the new Call of Duty came out.
When did it come out?
I think like last month.
Oh, yeah. He turned it around, huh? He turned it around. He's watching film now. Cliff Kingsbury got the fuck up out of there. He said, "You know what? I might start watching some of this film. This might be a good idea."
But yeah, man, I'm sticking with the Cards.
Fair enough. Like I said, I would not be shocked if they won. They are right now.
Fuck that stadium.
Why?
Shitty ass turf they used for the Super Bowl where the Eagles lost. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sure it was the turf's fault. It was the ref's fault.
It was everybody else's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of your Philadelphia Eagles, 6-2, traveling to Dallas to take on the 3-6 Cowboys. No Dak. Cooper Rush installed as the starter. Dak may or may not be out for the season. He's having a second opinion. But the Eagles are favored by 7.5. And the over-under is 43.5 in, I guess this is not America's Game of the Week. I guess this is whatever Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, whatever their shit's called. But CBS, NFC. Who you got?
I got Hurts. I got Saquon Barkley, too. Anyways.
Yeah, you might want to hold up Saquon. He's kind of the man of the hour right now.
Saquon's not mine. It's my stepkids, but,
Well, you could borrow it. Tell him to get lost. We got content to film.
He's sleeping right now. I'm not want to wake him. Hey, give me that Saquon minute thing that you have. Yeah, man, it's not looking good in Jerry World. It's not looking good at all. I mean, everything that could go wrong is going wrong. It's going horribly wrong. I mean, Dak's injured. He might get surgery. He's trying, like you say, he's trying to get a second opinion to see if he doesn't have to get surgery. Either way, he's not playing this week, which is a shame because it's Dallas week. It's the Eagles, Cowboys. It's a great divisional rivalry. They are Jerry World. They're in Dallas, Arlington, whatever you want to call it. It's such a shame, and I say this with the most sarcasm possible, that they are doing really, really bad this season. But yeah, I'm picking the Eagles, of course. Who the hell am I going to pick? Come on.
Yeah, I'm on the Eagles. I've been on the record saying that I think they're playing really good football, but they haven't really beaten a top contender yet, and they ain't gonna beat a top contender this week because even when they beat Dallas, they ain't beating nobody but a fucking bottom of the barrel dumpster fire team right now. We've seen Cooper Rush play really good before, but that's when the Cowboys were good. The defense was good. The weapons were clicking. They were moving. Dak got removed from the situation. He was able to come into a machine that's already rolling. They are not rolling. They need Cooper Rush to come in and jumpstart the system. We've never seen that. Maybe he'll prove that he can be that guy. He could be a Ryan Fitzpatrick or someone or a Jameis Winston that comes in, galvanizes the troops. But I ain't betting on it. So, yes, Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this game probably by more than 7.5. But I'm not going to bet that because that's a lot. So.
Yeah, God forbid he ends up becoming, the Cowboys' Nick Foles.
Uh-oh. He's speaking it into existence, folks.
All right, either way.
It's their year, Cesar. It's their year.
So it's their year.
I'm sorry, Dallas fans. I love you. Got nothing but love for the Cowboys.
No,
you don't.
I have no hatred for you, but I do have extreme joy in my heart saying that I'm happy that we're probably going to win this game. Now, if we lose, I'm going to be extremely pissed off and annoyed, and I'll probably talk shit all week.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I might take Dallas to cover though, because Philly flirted with it last week with the Jags. I don't know, maybe not, but either way, Eagles are going to win this game for sure.
Now we got Sunday Night Football. That's going to be a good game. You're on mute.
I thought I unmuted myself. Sunday Night Football, we got the 7-1 Detroit Football Lions. Still the best team balling, even though the Chiefs are playing on a different level. Going to Houston to take on a weaponless C.J. Stroud and the 6-3 Houston Texans on NBC and Peacock. Who you got?
I got the ankle-biting Lions, man. Like you said, they're the best team in football, even though the Chiefs are still undefeated. They are the best. They are dominating. The only way they can lose if they get in their own way. If they try to get fancy, if they try to get clever, if they try to just do stuff that they shouldn't be doing because they think they're dominating, that might bite them in their own ass. That's the only way I think they're going to lose this game. So I'm picking the Lions. I'm picking those guys. They are motivated. They are hungry. They are trying to dominate the jungle, and they're going to try to do it like they always have, at least these past 2 seasons.
Let me talk to you.
Detroit and Houston. Yeah, I like the Lions. I like Detroit. I mean, again, they're the best team balling. The Texans are without their top 2 receivers. They got offensive line issues. Even without Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit's getting after the quarterback. They add a pass rusher at the trade deadline. Detroit, they're going to get after C.J. Stroud. They're going to be on his ass all day, and the offense is going to keep rolling and just doing historic shit. There's no reason to believe. Again, Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. could be a factor, but Detroit's offensive line is fantastic. I think they're going to be able to do enough to slow those guys down, that Goff can remain in this absurd rhythm that he's in, and I got Detroit taking this one.
Lose yourself in the music, whatever. I mean, I don't know. But either way, it's Detroit. It's Detroit's time to dominate, and good for them. Hopefully, I get to see the Eagles and the Lions face off in the playoffs, and we beat them. But it's just a good time for the Lions, and it's a good time to be a Detroit Lions fan. So I hope the fans are enjoying it.
All right, last game on the schedule, Monday night. Hopefully should be more entertaining maybe than the schedule or the schedules. The records would suggest. The 2-6 Dolphins, 4-4 Rams. Rams are 2-point favorites over under 48.5. Who you got?
How did this game not get flexed? Like, it makes
Because
no sense.
they got their weapons back, though. It should be an electric matchup. Tua's healthy, and you got the receivers. Matt Stafford's got his receivers back. So, I think they're anticipating that it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a high-scoring game. And
They flexed the Eagles already once this season. You know, they played it for your game, which was not that great of a game. It was just a game for you guys to dominate the Colts. But whatever. I'm not salty about it. Not anymore. Either way, I'm picking the Rams. I think the Rams' weapons are stronger than the Dolphins' weapons. I think the Dolphins are struggling in every single sense of the ball this season. Even with Tua back, I don't think it's enough for them to win this game. I'll go with the Rams.
yeah, I mean, I was down on the Dolphins this year, not anticipating the Tua injury. Tua's come back. They have not won a game since he's been back. I don't think the Dolphins are a 2-3 win football team. I thought they'd win 7 games this year, maybe 8 games, as just a team taking a step back. With the injury, you bump that down to 5, 6, 7 win team. I didn't think they'd be this bad. So I think there's a temptation to want to pick them over the Rams, but I'm not. The Rams are going to send them to 2-7. They're going to be tied with all those shit teams who are going to be a loss worse. So they're still going to be a half game out, but they're still going to be a bottom feeding team. I think there's opportunity on the Dolphins schedule to get some wins here in the second half of the season. But in LA, in the whose house? Rams house. In the Rams house, the Rams are coming back. They got their weapons. They're doing their thing. I think the Rams are going to keep trucking forward. They're going to get another win, get to 5-4, get above 500, and the NFC West race is going to continue to just tighten in, and the Dolphins are now pretty much done after this.
Whose house? Everybody else's house in that stadium. I mean, I'm
for real.
Dolphins fans this week, the Rams fans, but whatever. It's an interesting situation, but either way, good for the Rams. I think they're doing good. I hope Puka Nacua doesn't get ejected this time, though.
Yeah, it is what it is.
4 teams on bye this week. We got the Browns, the Packers, the Raiders, and the Seahawks. I think this bye benefits every single one of them. Every single one of them benefits from this bye. The Browns, horrible. They need to, they need some time to regroup and, try to come up with a strategy of what they're going to do coming up now. Packers are not doing bad, but, they need to rest. They can use it, to get things going. I think 6-3 right now. I think they're doing a good job so far. We thought we were going to see peak Malik Willis. We didn't. So good for them.
Probably should have. Might have had a better outcome.
Yeah.
Might have been closer.
Yeah. Then we got the Raiders, also 2-7 team. They also need to regroup and figure out what's going on and what to do. They don't know what to do with the quarterback situation. They keep going back and forth. And then we got the Seahawks, who are 4-5. Started up hot, have also been going downhill ever since. I think Smith forgot how to play football, and now they're just struggling on all sides of the ball. It also benefits them because they also gives them some time to figure out what's going on. So, yeah, it benefits all of them.
Yeah, I think Seahawks need it because the vibes are so bad. They need a reset week. The Browns, I think this helps because they got New Orleans next week. So you get 2 weeks to prepare for a bad football team and get a dominant win and feel like you can get back some momentum for yourself. Packers, after a tough loss, they get to regroup a little bit. And the Raiders, it gives them another week to come up with new ways to lose football games so they could be the worst team in the league and draft Shedeur Sanders. So, yeah.
I want to make a comment that there are currently 7 teams that have a record of 2-7. That's the Browns, the Raiders, Giants, the Panthers, the Patriots, the Jaguars, and the Saints. I don't think there's ever been a time where a lot of teams have been sucking at the same time.
Not like this. It's historic, which is why I did an hour-long podcast about the powerless rankings where we decided who has a chance to get the number 1 overall pick, so check that out.
Either way, those are 7 teams with a record of 2-7, but there's also 2 teams that, due to buys, have a record of 2-6. And those are the Dolphins and the Titans. So that's basically 9 teams that are just playing really bad football this season. That's a lot of teams playing a lot of bad football this season. It's weird.
Yeah, they suck. But you have not sucked this year on your picks or your predictions. Do you have any non-pick predictions for us this week?
I'm predicting Christian McCaffrey, if healthy. If he looks healthy, he's going to score a touchdown. At least 1 touchdown.
All right. I mean, he might be on a pitch count, but he knows that they're gonna get him in there. They're gonna get him in there for sure. I think that's a good prediction. Might be able to get good odds on that since he's been out for so long. So,
Kelsey will not score a touchdown.
All right. No touchdown when Travis Kelce and the Chiefs lose to the Denver Broncos. But that's it. That's the games for what week are we in? Was this week 10?
Week 10.
Week 10 of the 2024 NFL. Dude, it always goes by so quick. It's like it's week 1, you're excited, you blink, it's mid-season, and then you blink again, and now it's the Super Bowl and the Chiefs are hoisting the Lombardi once again. But thanks for tuning in. As always, take it easy, football heads.
Football heads.